All right, welcome back to another one of our film reviews. Today we are talking Cincinnati Bengals rookie left guard Dylan Fairchild. I know you Bengals fans a little bummed out right now because of the injury at the quarterback position, but Burrow will return, and with Fairchild as part of this offensive line holding down the left guard position, this Bengals team still feisty, still good. I still think they got a serious shot, especially with the emergence of this young rookie, and we'll break down everything he did so well. As always, in the comment section below, give us any feedback you might have. If you're a fan of these film reviews and want to help us to do more of them, consider becoming a member. There's a link in the description box below that will take you right there. But without further ado, let's jump right into the film. All right, let's open up with some pass protection. There is Dylan Fairchild right there. This is a fun play to watch to get us going. So we're going to get the play side of the protection. That's these three guys in this particular play working the gap to their left. So left tackle is going to take this gap. Fairchild's going to take that gap. And center is going to take this gap right here. How it ends up working out, Fairchild passed that this direction. He's expecting 94 to come to him, but he ends up with no one to block, right? 94 goes away. So Fairchild ends up looking for work, and he sees a great opportunity to deliver a kill shot inside. Again, I love the mentality of this rookie. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. Good protection. Quick pass. Good gain down to about the 3-yard line. All right, let's look at Dylan Fairchild right here at left guard. So 94 goes away. Watching out what he does right here. Snaps his head, looking for work. Delivers a shot to the ribs, puts him in the turf. That's what it's about, guys. Physicality, toughness, impose your will on the opposition. The Bengals, for a lot of their offensive line over the past couple seasons, really going back to the beginning of the Joe Burrow era, has lacked physicality. They've had some talented guys. They've had some decent guys. They've had some guys that aren't so talented, obviously. But they've been missing this, some nastiness. I'm going to bury the opposition. I'm going to stick my helmet into your ribs and make you hate playing football. Dylan Fairchild is bringing that. Look, he's a good player across the board. Run game, pass game, stuff to work on, no doubt. But I think his attitude plays an important role. His attitude and his effort. What a great find by the Cincinnati Bengals. He'll be critical for them as they look to survive without their star quarterback. Now for the wide copy, I apologize for the blurry vision. This is Cincinnati Bengals home film, guys. This is not great. Someone needs to call the Bengals front office and get this squared away. We need a little bit better quality, all 22 here from Cincinnati. But anyway, look at Fairchild right there at left guard at the snap. The defensive tackle is going to go away, snaps his head inside, delivers a shot, puts him in the turf. So what's about, guys? Being a physical presence, being a strong dude, imposing your will, being nasty up front. That's what I want to see from offensive linemen. I don't want you to be passive. Pass protection doesn't have to be passive. Impose your will, deliver a shot. Make these defensive linemen, they're all about getting sacks and tackles for loss and all their dances and stuff like that. Make them hate playing life. That's how you win. That's how you protect your quarterback. Dylan Fairchild delivering that right here. All right, sticking with some pass protection, there's Fairchild right there, of course, at left guard for Cincinnati. And you can see the Jacksonville Jaguars, they got a lot of people walked up. If you want to count them all, they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys added around the line of scrimmage. Some guys are going to drop. Some guys are going to come. Here, Fairchild on the offensive line, the play side. Again, these 3 guys, they're going to slide the gap to their left. Orlando Brown this gap. Fairchild this gap. And the center right here is going to slide to this gap. Running backs going this direction right here. And then we're going to get man-on-man on the backside. Right guard man-on-man, right tackle man-on-man. At least that's the structure. That's the design. Not really well executed by the Bengals up front when it comes to these 2 guys and the running back right there. I don't know exactly what happened in terms of miscommunication. But if you look at Fairchild right here, he does a great job. Gets into his gap, picks up the man coming into his gap, delivers a great pass protection. Let's check it out. There's a snap. Blitz comes. Pocket collapses. Burrow does what he can to escape. Becomes scramble drill. Not great. All right, let's look at Dylan Fairchild right here on the left side at left guard, right? Gets into his gap. Look, whoever comes, defensive end comes. He misses with his punch. You see how he misses initially right there? That's not great. Looks like he's going to give up a sack. But he really calibrates, gets his hands there, runs him upfield. Now his hand's a little close to holding there, right? You don't love that grab, but he doesn't yank, so he avoids the call. Love to see that. But the most important thing for any offensive lineman out there, young offensive lineman, watch how he moves his feet. Always moving his feet. It doesn't have to be pretty, but if you keep moving your feet and keep running your feet, good things will happen. In terms of getting beat, a lot of times offensive linemen, they stop moving their feet, and what happens? Defensive linemen, they run around you. You can be a good enough athlete. I know these guys are scary fast and big and strong and all of that, right? They're good pass rushers, good athletes, but if you move your feet and be an athlete yourself like Dylan Fairchild, you can get the job done. Now, when it comes to the pass protection across the board, right, we see here, man-on-man, 66 supposed to stay on him. He goes outside. He goes looking for work. I don't know what the running back is thinking here. You have got to pick up the most dangerous blitzer. Now, this guy right here, running back 34, I know he's trying to look for 47. 47 goes away. Now turn your head right there, and it's just too late. It's just tough. And I understand it's a complicated protection, but you need to be better up front. But when it comes to being good, look no further than Dylan Fairchild. Again, running his feet. Nice block here from the rookie.
Yeah, Nick, you said something earlier. key here for Fairchild. Recalibration week 1 to week 2 for him. Fantastic. Week 1 was looking a little bit dicey, saying, 36.9 pass blocking grade. What's going on? There's a lot, it was a sloppy game overall, just a tight one. The Bengals, weren't getting a lot going offensively in that game. You look at week 2, 84.9 pass blocking grade for him, 0 pressures allowed, 0 hurries. No one even got close to the quarterback on his watch. Really great recalibration from week 1 to week 2, showing indicative of what he was doing in the preseason. I think this is a really good start to the year for Dylan Fairchild.
All right, let's go with some running game next. There's Fairchild right there at left guard for the Cincinnati Bengals. We're going to get a gap concept here for Cincinnati. We're going to get a double team here, working up to the next level. Double team right here, working up to the next level. Base block here, base block here. It's going to be a pump fake outside, then hand to the running back, and he's going to look for a hole wherever he can find it. I want you guys to watch Dylan Fairchild here. Not a terrible block, but this is something I want to see him improve on. He runs his feet in the pass protection game, and he does a decent job here, but I want him to focus on the finish. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. There's a pump fake, inside run. Minimal gain for the Bengals right there. Let's look at Fairchild again at the point of attack. Gets on him, does a decent job, right? Good double team initially from the center. Watch him fire out, get a little movement there. That's pretty good. Now if you're Fairchild, I want you to finish. Drive your feet, keep working them upfield. You get some movement there. It's a decent job. I just want more. Good surge. Now run your feet and finish him. When he fights back over the top, pound your feet to the ground and get him in the and get this defensive lineman in the dirt or blow him out of the way. Instead, number 52 for Jacksonville is able to come off and make the tackle. Want to see a little bit more from Dylan Fairchild here. Again, not a terrible rep from the rookie. Could be a lot worse, of course, but this is really close to being good. This is something he needs to improve on. Now for the wide copy, you can see, again, apologize how blurry this is. My goodness, Cincinnati Bengals footage is not great at home so far. But you see the double team right there. Again, a little bit of good surge right there, a little bit of movement, but he gets beat over the top, right? Just stay with him. Keep running your feet and finish. Look how they dent the defense right here at the point of attack, right? Contact made at the 24. They drive them back to about the 26. That's good. Up to the next level. That's really good. This is the dent. You can see the kind of V right here, that wedge in the middle of the defense. That's what you want to see. Now you just need Fairchild to run your feet and finish the block, and this could be a really successful play. All right, going back to the running game, and there's Fairchild right there at left guard. This next play here happened later than the previous play. This is Dylan Fairchild learning from his mistake and learning how to finish in game. Love to see it. So what we're going to get here from the Cincinnati Bengals is another downhill concept. We're going to get base block there from the tackle, base block here from the guard, double team right here, working up to the next level, tackle working out. We're going to get this H-back over here. He's going to come in motion pre-snap, and then at the snap, he's going to work this way and kind of lead on this linebacker right here. It's kind of an old lead concept, like if it was an I formation, but they actually have a tight end H-back do it, and the running back falls inside just like that. I want you guys to watch Dylan Fairchild right here. Again, he's part of this double team, but he stays on this defensive tackle. This time he finishes it, puts him in the dirt, opens up the cutback lane for the running back. Great play from the rookie. Let's check it out. All right, there's the motion. There's the snap. Lead inside. Good hole. Cuts back behind. Good run for Cincinnati. All right, let's look at the left guard. Let's look at Dylan Fairchild, the rookie. There's a double team right there. Good movement. Right here, 52. Looks like he's going to come off and make the tackle again for Jacksonville. What happens? Fairchild finishes, puts him in the dirt. This is what it's all about. I love seeing these young guys learn from their mistakes. I love seeing these guys in games have a play not so great. Later in the game, they're like, I'm going to fix that. I didn't finish earlier in the game, says Dylan Fairchild. I'm going to make sure that crap doesn't happen again. Love to see this. Correcting in-game mistakes is critical for an offensive lineman. And look, the previous play, it wasn't like it was a disaster or anything like that. It just wasn't Fairchild's best rep. Here, Dylan Fairchild, again, good movement, but he stays with 52, and he finishes and puts him in the dirt. Again, imposing your will on the defensive line. This is how you come from behind in the fourth quarter despite losing your starting quarterback. And this mentality, this toughness, this mental toughness is what will carry Cincinnati forward as they try and survive without Joe Burrow. Nice play from the rookie.
Yeah, and we look at run blocking. I think this stuff is key here. Just seeing the spark from him. He's been okay in run blocking this year so far. We're talking 2 games here, folks, so a small sample size, about a 60 overall run blocking grade. But if we go back to the preseason and look at what he was putting out there, 85.4 run blocking grade. He was doing phenomenal stuff there. We know what he's capable of in the running game. So I would like to see him get a little bit better, but flashes like this show he is capable of it. He had a couple more plays like this, much higher grade. PFF is a little bit finicky as what they can give you, but so far, so good for Dylan Fairchild.
Now let's hear from the sponsor of today's video.
We'd like to give a big thanks to DraftKings Sportsbook for sponsoring today's video. Football season is right around the corner, and if you love the thrill of live betting, DraftKings has got you covered. Bet live on in-progress games right as they happen, and if sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry, you can still join in on the fun with DraftKings daily fantasy sports and have the shot to win cash prizes. And remember, new customers who bet $5 get $200 instantly in bonus bets. That's right, new customers who bet $5 get $200 instantly in bonus bets. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to DraftKings Sportsbook today and sign up using our promo code SMI. Again, head over to DraftKings Sportsbook and sign up today using our promo code SMI.
All right, going with the running game again, there's Fairchild, of course, out left guard for Cincinnati. We're going to get a split zone concept here for the Bengals. So we're going to get the tight end H-back there to come in motion pre-snap, and then at the snap, he's going to come across this way and kick out the end man on the line of scrimmage. What we're going to get up front on the offensive line, we're going to get a base block there. We're going to get a zone double team right here, working up to the next level. Then we're going to get a double team here on the backside with a scoop technique. So we're going to get Fairchild with a little tight scoop, working through the outside, or I should say inside shoulder of that defensive tackle, outside shoulder of Fairchild before trying to work up to the next level. And we're going to get Orlando Brown Jr., the left tackle, working to take over this defensive lineman right here. Now, even though this is a backside scoop technique, it still has a double team concept. So these two guys basically are responsible for these two guys. How it works is that if this linebacker flies over the top, which is what you would expect, right? Running back's going to go that way, or at least this way by design. Fairchild is expected to come off. But if this linebacker never flows this direction, you have the job. Your job is, if you're Fairchild, is to stay on this defensive tackle. That's exactly what he does. Again, smart play, good execution. Let's check it out. All right, there's the motion. There's the snap. There's the run. Little cutback from 30. Good run right there. Good finish. Really nice play. All right, let's look at Dylan Fairchild on the left side of the Bengals offensive line here. We got the tight scoop technique, his outside shoulder on the defensive tackle's inside shoulder, double team action. He sees 23 for Jacksonville. That's the linebacker he's working up to, right? He sees the linebacker not flow over the top, so what does he do? He stays on the defensive tackle and keeps getting vertical movement, keeps like turning his shoulder into him, turning his hips into him. You see there, Orlando Brown Jr. staying on as well. Again, if this linebacker doesn't reveal himself, if he doesn't come off and try and flow over the top, your job is to stay on this defensive tackle. Really smart, really good fundamentals here from Dylan Fairchild. Again, I love this tight scoop technique. See how he gets his feet in the ground and then pounds with a good shoulder strike, but stays square the entire time. He's ready for 23 to flow over the top. 23 just for whatever reason, just completely goes the wrong way. That's not great for the Jacksonville linebacker. Again, good little bounce here, good little cutback. Pretty good design too from the Bengals perspective. But this is a play right here from 63. Smart, savvy, physical, everything you want from a young offensive lineman. All right, from the wide copy, get a really good look at this tight scoop technique right here. You're going to get a little motion right there. There it is. Watch him go right through the inside hip of that defensive tackle, keep his shoulder square, work up to the next level. And as the linebacker, right, you can see, look at Fairchild's eyes. He's staring at the linebacker the entire time. But as the linebacker flows the wrong way, he turns in this defensive tackle and then keeps working him up the field. That's what you're taught to do. Again, this guy basically blocked himself. You don't leave your guy because this guy blocked himself. You stay on him, turn back into him. So what you see here, nice rep from the rookie. All right, this is one of my favorite plays from Dylan Fairchild, and there he is, of course, at left guard for Cincinnati. So the Bengals here, it's going to be a pass protection concept, and the play side is going to be the right side, so it's going to be these three guys, and they're going to take the gap to their right, so it's going to be right tackle right there, right guard in this gap, and the center in this gap. What does that mean over here on the left? It's man-on-man, right? Man-on-man here, man-on-man there. So that means this defensive tackle lined up in what we're going to call a tight three technique on Dylan Fairchild. He's got a three-way go. He can go outside, he can go through, he can go inside. It's a tough situation for any guard in this situation. Dylan Fairchild, he tries to protect the inside initially. Not a bad strategy, but he misses with his hands. It looks like he's then going to get beat with the counter move with his outside pass rush, but he recovers wonderfully. Again, not his cleanest play, but he gets the job done. Let's check it out. All right, there's the snap. There's a protection. Quarterback has time. Throws it down the field. Just over the head of the receiver. Let's look at the guys up front here. Let's look at Fairchild specifically, right? One-on-one, protects the inside, 98 bounces outside, and he misses with his hands. Not great. Watch there with that punch. That's not a good position to be in right there. But he recovers and runs him upfield, ends up putting him in the ground because he trips on either his teammate or Orlando Brown Jr. I guess under Orlando Brown Jr. Still a defender on the ground, though. Still count. Look at Dylan Fairchild right here. Really good play. really good recovery. It's one of these things that a lot of offensive line play, like defensive back play, is about recovery. It's not going to be your best rep off the rip every single time, but how do you counter, right? The initial inside move, you're in a good position, but when he goes to the outside rush and you miss, instead of being dead to rights right there and maybe getting a sack fumble, you run your guy past the quarterback and put him into the turf. That's what I love about Dylan Fairchild the most. He has really good plays where he looks elite, right? He's got a physical, nasty nature that we've covered. But even when it's not his best play like we see here, he still has the footwork, the drive, and just the want-to, the competitive nature to finish defenders and give his team a chance. Again, that's the replacement quarterback in the game. That's what they're going to need going forward across the board. It's going to be a team effort until Burrow comes back, and I think Dylan Fairchild will have a big role in it.
Yeah, Nick, and some good news for the Bengals fans when you're looking at Dylan Fairchild. It's actually the highest rated rookie guard in the NFL right now, doing some really great stuff. And even despite rolling back to the beginning of this clip, or to this video, when I said that he had a really bad week 1 pass blocking grade, week 2 was so good. Actually, the second best pass blocking guard in rookie guard in the NFL right now as well. So good stuff for Dylan Fairchild. I think he's just getting even better. It's like you said, by the time Burrow gets back, the Bengals will have a really, really talented guard to help him stay protected.
All right, let's end on another pass protection, and there's Fairchild right there. One of the things I like about him is his intelligence. I talked about his physical nature, and this is going to be a good example of it because the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to run a really long stunt here, right? They're going to have this defensive tackle threaten this direction, then loop all the way around, and they're going to have this defensive tackle lined up in a 2-eye over here on the inside eye of the right guard. He's actually going to slant completely into this gap, and this is a really good concept here for defenses to run. It's one of my favorite stunts. When you threaten this direction, this guard's going to widen out. When you have this guy slant right here, this creates a lot of turf, so he's able to kind of like scoot behind the guard and get into the quarterback's lap. It's a really good stunt. I'm a big fan of it when defenses use it. But Fairchild, he does a good job with his technique. He does never get out of position terribly. So when he steps here, when this guy threatens vertically, he's still in a good position to counter, to protect his inside gap. Really good technique, really smart player. Great job recognizing and reacting. Let's check it out. There's a snap. There's a stunt. There's Fairchild to clean it up. Ball's gone. Good completion. First down. It's the little things, guys, right? You see how he protects right there, but he doesn't overextend. He doesn't lean. He doesn't get himself out of position. And the moment 94 goes away, he immediately pops his head. Right there, he says, okay, that's where I need to be. He stays flat, stays square, delivers the shot to make sure no one gets in the quarterback's lap. I can't tell you how many times young guards or even veteran guards, they overset right here, or they get too much into the line of scrimmage, and they open up a lot of green grass for the slanting defensive tackle to work through here and get pressure on the quarterback. Because this center, right there, he's going to be late to react to this defensive lineman. So this defensive lineman is going to have an edge. You need to be there to help, and that's exactly what Fairchild does. You talk about a team player, you talk about a smart player. Again, recognizing and reacting. 94 goes away, pop your head inside, get the job done. Physical, tough, smart, team guy, getting better as the game goes on. We know this Bengals offense is going to have a few issues to work through with number 9 out, but I tell you what, Dylan Fairchild is getting better and better. He's a future star, and he's going to be a big part of the Bengals. I think they're going to survive, to be honest, over the next few months as they wait for Joe Burrow to return. I think this offense is going to be fine, especially with the emergence of Dylan Fairchild.